the random access memory, ROM, read-only memory. Both are our primary memories only. Okay. So this RAM is a volatile memory. It's a temporary memory. So what is this RAM will do? What is this? What RAM will do? RAM load the data from IO devices and it will give it to CPU. Means take it and give it. CPU process it, give it back to the RAM. So RAM again it will put the data into IO devices. Means storage. It can be a storage device. It can be on screen or it can be on a printer. Like so, RAM is not required to store any data permanently because that is the way system works. It loads, gives, and again it will loads and it will gives. Okay, so that is what RAM it is. ROM is another hand is a simple chip. The manufacturer of this ROM chip build something inside like this. Instructions, data already built inside this chip while he is manufacturing this chip only. Okay, so we cannot change it. So it's a permanent memory. By default, read-only memory means it's permanent. We cannot write in it. Once data is there, it's a permanent. Of course, the statement may be changes later. We can. Example, RAM is an example for a volatile memory. ROM is an example for a non-volatile memory. What is a volatile memory? When power is off, the data in the ROM memory is gone because it never store any data permanently. You take it and give it type only. If power is off, so you don't store any data. So anyway, nothing, no need to fetch, no need to give kind of stuff. Okay, it's never store a data permanently. Non-volatile memory devices like a hard disk, CD-ROMs, pen drives, SSDs, your SD cards, memory cards are there, na? Cards. It's an example for non-volatile memory. Even though you are not connected to any power source, data remains in the device. Okay. As this RAM, we can increase. We can add a RAM. We can add more RAMs to increase the RAM sizes. We can replace the RAMs kind of stuff. The RAM is having a specific size matters here, but the ROM is a fixed chip on a motherboard. So we don't change your ROM chip kind of stuff. We won't replace the ROM chip generally. Random access memory, it is a main memory. Of course, primary memories are RAM and ROM, but when you say main memory, means it is RAM memory only. Okay, it's a primary storage for a CPU. Okay, temporarily store programs, instructions, and data. It's a volatile memory type, requires power to store data. Even if you have a power, RAM does not store any data permanently. RAM, two types of RAM, static RAM, dynamic RAM is there. Yeah, tell me. Okay, static RAM is built based on a pure form of transistors, means CMOS FETs. Okay, so it is little costly as well as so it used as a cache memory which built inside a CPU. For example, so CPU is a very fast clock speed, means very high speed data execution cycles are very faster compared to RAM. Okay, so this is our CPU. C actually process your data, and there is a control unit which controls your data intake and out kind of stuff. CPU, it is Okay, okay. Guys are able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Sir,
okay.
voice
So
is
some,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
sir, your voice is sometimes breaking.
Not clear.
okay, okay. Internet problem, internet signal problem, I think so. Just recording. Now we'll see. Okay, what is this cache memory? Okay, data is, we'll load it to this cache memory first from RAM to cache to your process, original part of process. One processor process it and put it into the cache memory again. So processor can easily fetch the data from the cache memory. Okay, so it is with the same speed of data transmission from CPU to cache because it's built inside and it is very fast as same as a CPU speed. Okay, but cache to RAM having a different clock speed because the RAM is slower than your cache and CPU. Okay, depends upon. So this is FSB front side bus of a CPU. Based on CPU front side bus, you have to select your RAM. Okay. So whatsoever it is, guys, simple thing is it's balance the speed between RAM to CPU. The cache is balanced that way. Okay. So it will take the data and give it to CPU. So it will improve the performance of CPU speed also. Okay. Higher the cache memory, better performance also. Built inside of your CPU. Another hand, see, RAM is another hand is a dynamic RAM. It is not built pure form of transistor, but is capacitor, resistors, and all. It is little slower than static RAM. And this is we call it as a DRAM, static RAM, SRAM, dynamic RAM, DRAM. And in a dynamic RAMs, you have a different dynamic RAMs also there, but specifically we have a SDRAMs, synchronous dynamic RAM. This synchronous dynamic RAM is further developed into DDR. Then DDR2, DDR3, DDR4, DDR5 also came into market. This DDR5, so 12th generation Intel processor supporting if you buy any latest laptops or a desktop with a 12th generation or a 13th generation systems. So you can check it. There is a DDR5 RAMs also there. But currently most of the laptops and desktops are with a DDR4. Okay. And every RAM, like we don't worry about this cache memory. Why? Because we cannot change the cache memory. But RAM, dynamic RAMs, which actually we are adding. Okay, so you look at your RAM. So this is my RAM capacity. So 16 GB RAM is there. 2 of 2 means 2 RAMs in this PC. Okay, so currently 8.3 available means you see speed 2667 megahertz speed. SODIMM packages it is 16 GB RAM. And it is not showing which type. Mostly it is DDR4 RAM it is. Okay, it is a DDR4 RAM. Okay, every RAM having a certain specific size. 4 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, 16 GB RAM, 32 GB RAM, 64 GB RAM. Like this. Every RAM has a clock speed like a 1333, 1600, 2400, 2666, 3200, 3400. Like this, every RAM has a clock speed. Every RAM has a specific model. And their voltage levels also, their low voltage, high voltage kind of stuff. Okay. Why we should know about these things? Guys, the RAMs we can able to add, we can able to replace, okay, we can able to change or replace kind of stuff. In a ROM, we can't do that one. It is a fixed part. Okay, we can add, we can remove, we can replace or change the RAM. To do that one, so things are like a check CPU model specifications. Okay, so based on your CPU, how much RAM or what type of RAM, the speed of RAM will decide based on your CPU specifications. For example, I have a CPU i5, some 11th generation, some number, 11th generation number. So this is my processor. Okay, so 12 MB cache memory. This is my processor number, 6 core, 12 threads, good, base frequency. Somewhere it will be there, like this is max turbo frequency. See it is. These processors support up to 128 GB of a total RAM size. Okay, means 64 plus 64 or one single 128 or 64 plus 64 also you can use it. Only two RAMs on it will support. Up to 3200 megahertz. So you want to buy a RAM for this particular processor. For this processor, I want to add a new RAM, or maybe I want to buy a new RAM for this processor. This is the limitation. RAM speed is 3200 megahertz RAM. You should buy it. Okay, it is DDR4 RAM, and maximum RAM you have to buy is 128 GB RAM. Okay, so based on CPU, so you have to know about maximum size support, speed support, memory type support also. And motherboard specification, is your motherboard supporting this specific RAM or not? How many slots are there? What type of memories it will support? What voltage levels are there? You should know it. You know, for my old laptop, it's with the 4 GB RAM. I added 8 GB. So what I have done, so first of all, I open my laptop and take the picture of my RAM and check the specifications on it. Based on that only I purchased. Of course, we taken the laptop to the shop directly, and then we buy and we install the new RAM. We add a new RAM. Okay. So it is better to follow with a old existing RAM. Either you want to replace or you want to add a new RAM. It's better to follow the instructions on a your RAM. Okay. So better always try to match the frequencies, even though it is given a 2, 3 frequency rating, better with the same frequency match. Okay. So these RAMs mainly so many type of packages, DIM packages, SODIMM packages. These two are important to note. Okay. DIM packages for a desktop purpose. Can you see? This is a motherboard for a desktop. This RAM, you can see larger the RAM. This is the DIM package RAM. And also you can see this notch, the notch suitability is also there for the your motherboard to your RAM. Okay. Of course, this is desktop related RAM. This is laptop related RAMs. Okay. Yeah. If you want to add a RAM to the laptop, so you can say like, sir, no problem. I have a desktop. So I will remove the RAM from desktop. I will attach it to the laptop. It won't work like that, guys. Okay. The laptop RAMs are SODIMM packages, some small outline DIM packages. Okay. Dual So it is a small size kind of stuff. Okay, for laptops and mini PCs, they use SODIMM packages. For desktops, we are using this type of RAMs. Okay, so every RAM has a pin configuration. So like a different pin numbering notch configuration is there. So you have to check compulsory with the suitability of RAM to the motherboard based on that pin configuration, notch configuration. Okay, guys, understand things about your RAM.
Yes, sir.
Okay, RAM specifications and the RAM models and RAM how to upgrade or replace a existing RAM and RAM packages. So DIM and DIM packages. Here I given small troubleshooting things is about a post failure. Guys, in boot processing, I will tell about a post related information. Okay. You start a PC means you press the power button. The first system perform a post operation. Power on self-test operation. CPU, RAM, motherboard, it will check those components mainly. So it will verify all primary components are working. Then it will go to the next step of boot processing. If in case some there is an issue, like you press the power button and there is power LED is blinking, but no hard disk LED, nothing on your screen, or continuous beep sounds, continuous beep sounds is there, then we can say it is a post failure. Post is successful, some other issue means something you can show on the screen, hard disk LED is blinking, that's somewhat we can understand. Post failure kind of stuff, the first step in the boot processing is stopped. Okay. So if post failure, nothing on a screen, continuous beep sound, no keyboard LED blinking kind of stuff. In generally, we blame on the RAM. Why? Because of RAM is a loose contact. Okay, because we are inserting into these slots. So any hard movement on a system on your cabinet. Okay. Second one is it's more open. So mostly a dust formation on the RAM slots or a RAM edges like this. This copper coating you can see the RAM edges having a more dust on it. So what we can able to do it, take a eraser to clean up the dust on the RAM, these copper contacts. Okay. Another one is try to use a blower to clean RAM slots. Hand blowers are enough, not required vacuum cleaners. Guys, I put a one diagram here, same diagram, only that is this the of devices are connected in the net system, right? For example, hard disk is there, CD-ROM is there, keyboard, mouse, printer, like these are different I/O devices are there. These I/O devices directly won't communicate it. Uh, so what is it is revenge or what? Okay. So what is this I/O controller will do it? Um, it will communicate, it will understand each and every device, where it is connected, what address of the device it is, okay, what is their IRQ numbers like that. It will understand the device location, status, address kind of stuff. So it will take the data from input device and give it to our RAM give it to CPU process it, put it in a RAM again give it to an IO controller, and where the output has to go, which device that will go. For example, it should be display on the screen, or it can be stored in another device kind of stuff. Okay. Here there is a two bridge chipsets are there. One is north bridge, another one is a south bridge. The north bridge is responsible is communication between the CPU and a RAM. So NOT bridge make a communication, controls the communication between CPU and RAM connections. South bridge is a controls the communication between your RAM and other peripherals. Okay. So this side of RAM is north bridge, other side of RAM is south bridge. Okay. In a cache memory also guys different levels, level 1, level 2, level 3 cache memories. See, our brains works in afternoon. I have to copy. Instead of copying, I just cut it. All my morning batch people will cry. Next one we will discuss ROM. Okay. So okay. Um, we can start with ROM. Guys, understand about RAM, RAM packages,
Yes, sir.
RAM cleanup.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Just a minute, just 2 minutes. Relax, guys. I will start ROM.
Okay, sir.
Okay, ready? Guys, you able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Yes.
the, so I given 2 minutes break for a. This is a big story. ROM is a very big story, guys. Um, because you have to learn slowly. This part is okay. Up to here, it is okay. Because what about a ROM only? ROM is a read-only memory, permanent memory, non-volatile memory. 3 points. Of course, this ROM chip whenever the manufacturer manufactured a ROM chip, they build instructions inside this ROM chip. So, for example, for my new motherboard model, I need a ROM. So, I ask the manufacturer to build a ROM chip for my motherboard. So, with this kind of instructions, he will build it. But one chip is very difficult to build. No? He has to build a lot of ROM chips for my motherboard. Like he build 10,000 chips, but my motherboards are only 1,000 motherboards. Okay, because the chips are like that, they have to manufacture in a large scale only, cannot manufacture in a small scale. So it is a problem because we cannot rewrite the program inside this one. So what they have done, they build another kind of ROM chips. People who do program inside, like it is a PROM chip, programmable read-only chip. It is empty chip. Nothing is written inside. No instructions, nothing, no data. It is simply a chip and empty chip. Nothing is inside. What a motherboard manufacturer will do it, like what he will do it, okay? Or he take the empty chip, and put the program inside. So they're using some ultraviolet rays kind of programming thing is there. So he will program the chip. Programming means like what you see, like a plus b is equal to c. It's not a program. Programming means you burn something inside. Instructions in the gate form. Open gate, on or off conditions, zeros, ones conditions in the chip form. Okay. So programming a chip does not mean not writing a program. So inside we are inserting a binary code that is inserted as a gate open close kind of stuff. Okay. This is one-time programming, means once you insert a program, we cannot erase, we cannot, we can't erase, and we cannot rewrite also. So what he's done, he invented a electrically programmable, means erasable programmable read-only memory. It means you can program once and you can erase it, but you cannot put a program again. Means there is sensitive data, you don't want to keep it there. So you can erase it. Erasing the program is there. It's now difficult. Electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. So it is a simple electrical emulator is there. So connect it and insert a program. Now you feel your program is wrong, or maybe you want to change something in the program. We can apply changes, or you can remove everything and rewrite everything. Simply say it is rewritable. Okay. We can read, we can write, exactly say it is rewritable. Okay. So PROM is one time write, multiple times read. One time write, multiple times read. One time write, multiple times read. This is two things. It's a one time write. Okay. And multiple times it is read. This is, you can read and write. You can rewrite the data image. PROM kind of stuff. Okay. So ROM is your fixed chip. ROM has a program called a BIOS. What is the BIOS? BIOS is nothing but a firmware. Okay. So in our ROM chip, we have a program called a BIOS. We are using a PROM chips anyway. It's a rewritable chip. What program it is? The program name is BIOS. What is the BIOS is nothing but a firmware. Guys, firmware is low level instruction set. Okay, so when you power on your device, not only a computer, laptop, computer, mobile phones, AC, anything, guys, any electronic circuits, like switch on and start and move on. So what is this firmware is meaning is firmware or firmware. So it will tell you how to start, how to load, how to work in a initial, how to connect. This firmware will tell what are the devices are there. This firmware. BIOS, a basic input output system, is nothing but a firmware which inside in your ROM chip. That's why we never call these chips as a ROM chip, BIOS chip or UEFI chips. Fixed chip, there is no specific size for it because there is some space, but still we cannot able to change it. We can't able to upgrade or add or remove, replace kind of sizes are not there yet. Which contains BIOS contains information about your system. What is this BIOS chip contains? Information about your system, your motherboard components. Your motherboard. On motherboard, you have a BIOS chip. What is this BIOS chip will do it? It contains information about your motherboard, on motherboard components, kind of stuff. We can control the function of these hardware devices through the BIOS setting. On your motherboard, you have a CPU, RAM, of course, connected a hard disk, connected a CD-RAM. Okay, front panel connector. Okay, any I/O controllers like a keyboard, mouse connectors, SMPS connectors. Okay, so your BIOS is to gather the information of devices. For example, CPU information. What is a CPU? Where it is connected? Properties of CPU. RAM information. Guys, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, network keep disconnecting. This network, the Wi-Fi keep disconnecting. So I connected to with wire connectivity now. You'll see. Yeah. So what is the BIOS? We'll do it during the boot up. It performs post operations. So it helps to boot your system. To start your system, you need a BIOS. What is post? Power on self test. It is a test like when you are start your PC. This post test will make sure that the your primary components like on motherboard devices and CPU, your RAM is good or not. Okay, if these primary devices are good, then it will go for a next performance. And this BIOS also recognize hardware devices, means when you press the power button, the power is distributed to all components of a your computer devices. So your BIOS will recognize the hardware devices. What is the device? What type of device? For example, there is a hard disk. Which hard disk it is? Okay, so SATA type of connectivity, where it is connected, what is the ID number of that hard disk, what is the size of the hard disk, what is the address bus of that hard disk, that will be recognized by your BIOS. It locates and load operating systems. It means your BIOS will tell you so where to search operating system in which order. So based on the order, you have to search like a voice in the CD-RAM. No, then search in a hard disk, voice in the hard disk. It is there. Yes, load it like that. Okay. So like this. This is the boot order. Okay. See this the bootable utility it is. It's like a boot menu option. When you run your system, so your once post is completed, next step is like major primary devices are good. And your BIOS is telling that check operating system first in CD-RAM as per this list, guys. List can be changes. Okay. So first check in the CD-RAM. OS is there. Yes, load it. No. Then check the next device. Removable device means pen drives. Is any pen drive with a bootable operating system is connected? No, means then go for a hard disk. Check in a hard disk, OS is there. Yes, load a OS from the hard disk. Okay. No, means search in a network. Any network means any WDS services or a network boot is available. Then load it from the network. Okay. And that is the locate and loads operating system to start your computer, to load your operating system. So our operating system has to recognize your hardware devices. What are the devices on your motherboard to understand that one also the to get information about it to the operating system also your BIOS is helpful. What is the BIOS? BIOS is a program which inside your ROM chip. Okay, that program we call it as firmware. Okay, this BIOS is now we are using as a UEFI. Instead of BIOS, we are using now UEFI. But still BIOS is BIOS. Unified Extensible Firmware Interface. It's a kind of new version of BIOS. And these BIOS manufacturers are different. AMI BIOS, Edward BIOS, Phoenix BIOS kind of stuff. Okay. So different manufacturers are there. Okay. So as I said again, guys, the BIOS is when you during the boot up, it perform post operations. It locates and load the operating system files. It recognizes the hardware devices at a post time, means about your hard disk, about CPU, about your RAM, Okay, so what are the, like if in case you inserted a graphic card, what graphic is card is inserted? So BIOS will try to recognize the devices. Okay, in the BIOS, all your motherboard components information, hardware features, you can enable or change certain features on your hardware related kind of stuff. Okay, and in your BIOS, we have a hardware information, so we can check it or we can change some hardware settings through BIOS settings. So what is the BIOS settings? It is a interface to change or check or manage or enable or disable your hardware related features. Okay. So your BIOS is not related to operating system, but we can control few things from the hardware also. Okay. To go to BIOS settings, guys, first of all, press the power button and then press the BIOS key. What is the BIOS key? Generally, to go to BIOS settings, there is some function key. You have to press it to go for it. It may varies from one manufacturer of BIOS to another manufacturer. In generally, in your system, on the screen, when you power on your system, it shows a BIOS setup kind of stuff. Okay. How to go to this setup, that F2 to setup, F10 to setup, F12 to setup, SK to setup kind of stuff it shows on the screen. Sometimes you will miss it. In generally, the BIOS case, in olden days, it is a only del key, delete key. Press the power button and press the del key, means delete key to go to the BIOS settings. Now it is not like the different manufacturer, different type of keys. F2 sometimes, mostly F2 also works. F10, F12, F11, F9, these are most common BIOS keys kind of stuff. Sometimes you have to do with a function key plus BIOS key. Why? Because of function keys are connected to your secondary keys table kind of for based on laptops usually. Guys, in a BIOS, if you go to the BIOS settings, you can see date and time running. It's a continuous date and time running from the BIOS. We can set up a password. So then no others can able to change your settings in your BIOS. Okay, we can set up a password to your BIOS settings. So others cannot able to change your settings. This password is different from your operating system password. Your OS having a password that stores in your OS level, not in hardware level. The password is the BIOS password. You go to the BIOS settings, then you can put a password setting that is no other people can able to access your system and change your hardware related things. Okay, of course we can reset it. No, why to go to this BIOS settings? To change some hardware features, to check the timing, to change passwords or check the password kind of stuff, to change the boot priorities, to change some hardware features, enable or disable certain features, example virtualization technology enable kind of stuff. And also we can find our system configuration. So in the starting day one class, I told about system configuration, maybe day two class, system configuration. In the system configuration, we check system configuration with the different options. Okay, we find CPU, RAM, hard disk or SSD kind of stuff from task manager, MS Info 32, DX diag kind of stuff. But from here also we can get it. This is a system configuration. You can see from this BIOS. See it is system time, running time, date and time. Okay. And this is CPU i7-4500 CPU, 1.4 gigahertz. And cache memory is 4 MB cache memory. Fixed hard disk is 1 terabyte. And there is a CD-RAM is also there in this one, and 8 GB RAM. So it is 1600 megahertz means DDR3 RAM. Okay, so this is I find my system CPU, CPU's cache memory, and also my hard disk, my CD-RAM, and my RAM information all got it. Plus date and time. So this information means CPU information, hard disk information, CD-RAM information, your RAM information is recognized by your BIOS chip. It will read the data from your device, take the data from it at the power on time only. But this date and time, so once it is set, it has to run continuously. This is hardware related future kind of stuff. So I want to enable Intel virtualization technology in my system. So I went to the BIOS because it's hardware feature, CPU feature. I enable it from here, like a different settings in your system. So then you can able to see and change it. Okay. This is security. You can set up a password. You can set up a password, user supervisory password. The passwords of BIOS is like a protect from others to change any hardware related settings. Of course, we can reset it. That's a different point. Yeah, already I told the boot priority kind of stuff. So when you power on your system based on the boot priority, system load operating system from try to load operating system as per the boot priorities. Guys, understand what is BIOS settings? How to go to BIOS
Yes,
settings?
sir.
Okay, good. Guys, this is CMOS battery. CMOS battery. So people say CMOS battery and immediately CMOS abbreviation. And some people will confuse the battery is made up of CMOS. No, guys, the battery is lithium battery. You know, nowadays we are getting electrical bikes, lithium ion batteries. Same way, it is lithium battery. It's not made up of CMOS because CMOS is a technology which actually build your CMOS chips like a ROM chip, RAM chip, processor chips. These are all the base technologies, CMOS technology. Okay. So complementary metal oxide semiconductor devices. Okay. What is this BIOS battery? The BIOS battery is a lithium battery, 3 volts battery. It gives a power supply to your BIOS chip. Your BIOS chip. If you remove the battery, the BIOS settings goes to factory default. Okay. So what are the settings we have done in the BIOS settings? That will be gone and restore in a factory default settings only. So if you remove the battery, BIOS setting goes to factory default. Okay. BIOS having some temporary data also. BIOS is a permanent data. That means the inside a program and instructions are permanent. Recognizing of devices, date and time running, passwords is your BIOS passwords, BIOS settings, and the configuration, the settings you have done or configuration you have done in a BIOS that will be gone in if in case you shut down your PC. There is a permanent data in your BIOS chip, but there is some additional data like date and time, BIOS password, the settings you change, configuration you made in a BIOS that will be gone. So when you turn off your system, data in the BIOS chip will be gone. Guys, this BIOS battery never stores any of data. BIOS battery never stores any of data. This battery is lithium battery, which is connected to your BIOS chip, which is actually manufactured by CMOS technologies. That's why it is called as a CMOS battery. So this 3 volts battery give continuous power supply to your BIOS. So then 3 volts battery. Lithium 3 volts battery. Give a power supply to your BIOS to keep running off date and time, to keep the passwords, to keep as it is as the settings and configuration. If you remove this battery, the data in the BIOS, it means the settings you have done, the passwords you have given, okay, and then the date and time will be gone from the BIOS. So compulsory, this voltage battery is there. So you start a PC and it is showing error on the screen like this. It means your CMOS checksum failure. Press F1 to run the setup. So you have to go to BIOS settings, change the date and time, change the certain settings inside. When system is power on, the screen it shows system checksum error. So possibility is someone removed the battery and reinserted back, or CMOS battery is energy is very less or no power in it. Okay, so your daily are getting this same error. It means the battery power is gone. So you have to replace the new battery. That's it. Every time system starts, if you got this error, means battery lower, no power. So then change the battery. Okay. So this is CMOS checksum, CMOS battery related story. So CMOS is a technology which actually manufacture chips. But this our ROM chip is a BIOS chip. Okay, so the ROM chip is our BIOS chip. So using which is manufactured with CMOS technology. Our CMOS battery or lithium battery give power supply directly to our CMOS chip or BIOS chip. So your date and time and your settings are won't be reset. Okay. This is about CMOS checksum error. If you find CMOS checksum error, either it is someone removed a battery and reinserted, or your battery having low power. Lithium battery power is low power. So find a battery, change the battery. That's it. Okay. Up to now. Take a break, guys. Come back in 15 minutes. Have some tea, coffee. Don't sleep. So I will take another 40 minutes like that. Okay. Half an hour, 1 hour max.
Okay, sir.
So we'll finish this motherboard, some PS, some storage devices. Take a break.